So those expectations that you had when you started in this business, in this industry, have you met those expectations? Is it what you expected? What has changed?
So in this industry, meaning when I had plastic surgery, did it give me what I thought it would?
Yes.
Or when you say in this industry, do you mean media and entertainment?
No, as the lifestyle, as the lifestyle that you were looking for, the people that you wanted to be around, the luxury, all of that.
You know, when I had my nose job, I thought the biggest thing was going to be the reveal, the first nose job, let's say. I thought the biggest thing was going to be when I was healed and then I went out, like, I don't know, I felt like the world was going to open up and be my oyster and everyone was going to notice that all of a sudden I was magically beautiful, more beautiful than I was. And the truth is, nobody noticed.
Really?
No, hardly anybody noticed, except me. And
Your nose is really pretty, by the way.
I've had 5 now. 5 nose jobs. Thank you. But the funny thing was, when I was going through the process, when I wrote the checks before the surgery, I had to write the checks, and I thought that was going to be the worst part because it was all of my savings that I had at the time as a kid. I think at the time, now I look back, it sounds cheap, but it was like $3,500. And I remember writing the checks to the doctor and the anesthesiologist, and I was like, wow, like, I gave them the money, like, oh, I don't want to. And then afterwards, I left the office and I felt oddly euphoric. Like, I felt really good, actually. I felt really important to myself. I think for the first time, that's the first time I ever remember just buying something for myself. Like, because when I grew up, like, literally my mom and me and my brothers and sisters would shop at Goodwill. So it was secondhand clothing because we didn't have a lot of money. And if my brothers after me didn't like the clothes I wanted to buy, my mother wouldn't let me buy them. Because after I wore them, I was the oldest, they would get handed down to the other kids. So, you know, not to say it's not a boo-hoo story, it's just to say, you know, we all shared bedrooms, and that's fine, you know, a lot of people do growing up. But nothing was ever really just bought for you. If it was to benefit the house, then it was fine. But to spend $3,500 on just you, on just me, we would just never do that, right? And my parents didn't have money set aside for college, so I think in their mind, I was working part-time and going to school. That money would be put towards, you know, going to school or furthering my education. So when I came to them and said, oh, I want a nose job, they, of course, didn't agree with this. So, but I do think that sense of investing in myself, like literally the monetary investment of into me as a being mentally, I think it made me feel more important to myself. And I think it gave me confidence where I could see the change that happened, and my nose was a little bit more small, but still, obviously, I had 4 more nose jobs to make it more small. But yes, I do think it gave me a level of self-esteem that I was lacking a little bit, and it took away some of the anxiety I had. And also, it definitely made my wants and expectations of other people around me, because a lot of people at that time in my life thought that was a lot of money to spend on myself. And so yes, and like it definitely, like I started then, you know, looking for a partner, and I was like, well, I'm only gonna accept a partner who can afford to have these nice things in our life. And it made me up the bar, you know, on my expectations of others, because also it's expensive to be me. And if I'm gonna be with someone, they have to be okay with that, you know? So I do think so. I mean, the partners I had after that, I did have to draw a line in the sand at some point and say, no, I'm only gonna accept this. And it didn't necessarily have to do for me about 6-packs and a set of pecs, you know? For me, I was definitely more lifestyle driven, but I felt like I was turning myself into like the perfect house husband. And that was at the time my goal, you know? And so me meshing in with like higher class society, I don't think the nose actually made that happen. I made that happen. But I do think as a tool, it helped get me in my mind to the place where I was like, oh, I've earned my spot here and I'm comfortable, you know? And so I think the mentality in me changed. It's not that the nose job gave me access to those people literally, it's the feeling that it gave me in my mind and the confidence, yeah.